Today, at the whisper of the darkest winds, a new saga begins.
In 2002 we came back home and we started to make new songs and to put together many ideas.
I met with Alex. Keyboard is a co-composer of the songs and everything. And for sure, the first time we met, already something new was born, no?
It's a big energy that we have inside, you know. We don't search for it, we just have it, you know. It's always ready to go when we have the vision of an album, you know.
They have a meaning behind the whole thing they are doing. And they put much more effort and much more quality in that than most of the other bands around.
I was always influenced by this kind of epic elements present in the music, no? I was really touched in the soul by this kind of musical element.
Everything in the band, around the band, it sounds more serious, you know, much more professional, and it's exactly what we wanted, you know. This time it was the first time with a full orchestra and 3 different kind of choirs, so everything it's like we wanted since the beginning.
I started this saga in the '97 with our first album, Legendary Tales. I went on with the other 4 albums. In the last album, I closed the first chapter of the saga. And now we go on with the Dark Secret Saga that represents the second chapter.
In its essence, the story is one of the eternal duel between good and evil.
You know, there's a really good story here, and I think it's fantastic that the hero is someone who holds the light in the dark within him.
This world of men, demons, dragons, trolls, and what you want represent a kind of parallel dimension. For me, it's not fantasy, it's parallel dimension.
He likes to have a connection with the old saga because, mainly because of 2 reasons. For the emotionally wise, and lyrically wise, for location, geographically speaking. So I think that the Dark Secret Saga is just an involvement of what the Emerald Sword Saga was.
There is a kind of some year passed from the last saga, some things changed, but there is a big connection between the both.
Everything sounds to me more interesting because it's like a big vision that before was like that. Now I realize that the vision is bigger.
To write a saga, no, with many people, with many stories that, how you say, interfere with each other, many events happen at the same time. You have really to put down a kind of history of the lands, a kind of geography of the lands, because you can't fall in contradiction.
He knows just what he wants, just how it should be, and knows how to make the actor understand it.
I really follow a kind of voice in my mind. If I put one name that is not correct, immediately I have to erase it, because it doesn't fit, no? So it's something, I don't know, spiritual, I would say.
They came to us and said, we've got a vision that's going to be a big, grand orchestral idea. We want real orchestras, real choirs, we want real actors, and a variety of things. And fortunately, with the kind of music that we're interested in, the kind of music that we have expertise in, they were approaching somebody that was absolutely on their wavelength, and the whole Magic Circle team was ready and up to do something like this.
We used 4 studios in 4 countries, I think, in Italy, Germany, Czech Republic, London. It's a really multinational thing with, well, if we count everybody involved, with easily 150 to 200 people involved.
The problem is that the music of Rhapsody is really expensive, in every sense, you know, time, energy, money, and so on, you know, but in the end, the satisfaction is very big.
Per arrivar là dove l'aria di morte sa, fango, paludi, resti di un regno che da millenni paura e fa. Il nero demone urla il suo odio, l'ultima guerra vuol vendicare.
We don't get involved with the bands creatively in terms of telling them what to do. We see ourselves as interpreters of their ideas and trying to help them bring their ideas to life. And having somebody like Luca Turilli standing behind your shoulder, you know, shouting all kinds of, you know, ideas and directions, and it should be this way, it should be that way. It made life very, very interesting here in the control room, I can tell you that.
With Joy is a really particular relation. It's love and hate. And this is the secret. This is the secret. Because a normal relation doesn't give nothing. Believe me. Normal relation, manager, okay, but when there is love and hate, there is the universe, the cosmos. Sometimes I break his voice, sometimes he breaks my voice. But in this, there is the perfect, how to say, the perfect connection, the perfect human connection, I would say, no? More than just a relation between artist and manager.
They've always needed somebody that would listen to them, really listen to what they're saying, really listen to what they wanted to have done, and try to help them achieve that. Fortunately, we have some very, very good people that have taken care of all of the Man of War things, and now those very same people are looking after the other bands that we're working with. So it's kind of like it's like a family atmosphere, and it's a nice feeling to have good people like that.
The working atmosphere was great. In the studio in Wolfsburg, we know the people, we know Sasha, Olaf, and Miro, and everyone in the studio. They are very good friends of the band, and they know what we want, so it's easy to work with them.
Well, this time we and Sasha wanted to have a better sound, of course, for the album. The right choice is to go to a proper studio for mastering, and we did it in Belgium at the Galaxy Studios. I could not believe, but it was true, you know, the analog sound was really helpful for Rhapsody. We liked the idea to spend all the time we needed to record the songs.
This time we worked a lot about the lyrics. We checked every vocal lines, every words.
Yeah, this is different.
That's the only note I can't get.
Fabio, you know, the voice of the band. On this album, Symphony of Enchanted Lands Part 2, it was really amazing. The way he sings the song, interpreted the lyrics, you know.
The guys now know my possibility in my vocals. So they wrote songs that, you know, have different approaches in the vocals, like opera. Now they understood that I love opera and I am able to sing in this way.
The work he has to do, believe me, is really much harder than what the usual singer do, you know, because he doesn't write the lyrics, he doesn't write the music. So he have to catch the feeling of the song, to know the meaning of the lyrics.
Luca explained to me many times, you know, the impression, the feelings that he have in mind. Let me understand the saga and the story. And this is important, I think, because you know, you have to be inside this new saga, this kind of fantasy things. Then you can start to sing.
Torn and pain and bloody rain, Necron resurrection. They must kill the demon king, fight another war. Something like that?
First of all, it's very important in Rhapsody to work with good people, you know.
I think after some years we have a very strong synergy. Now it's really a good experience to work together in the studio because we can share a lot of emotions and a lot of different kind of things that we have in mind.
Oh, Patrice is a fantastic person and he's a very good bass player, you know, and we are proud that we can say he's a friend and he's a great musician, he's part of Rhapsody. Of course, Alex Solzar is a well-known drummer. In the album he did a job that is really unbelievable. He's so into music, into playing, that, you know, what he's doing, what he did for Rhapsody is, you know, is really the best he could do. In in Rhapsody we always like to have some special guests, and since the beginning of our career, I mean '97, we have a Baroque ensemble playing. That's also part of the magic sound I was telling before. There is an harpsichord player, a viola da gamba player, and a lute player, and of course my brother, the Baroque recorder player, that is playing with us since the beginning.
For 10 days they walked through majestic woods, their vision ever at hand.
It was a very great moment to see this Baroque ensemble playing together with my brother, you know, because usually we were doing separate recordings. For the first time we did really the ensemble recording, so this was really something really alive. And the quality is just amazing. You can really catch the magic that comes out, you know. And of course, with Manuel, for the first time, we gave him a lot of space on the album, so he actually is doing a big solo part in Sacred Power.
For all these Renaissance parts, medieval parts, he's a really a great performer. No? Having him studied a lot of years flute and being him one of the most famous flute players, I wouldn't say only of Italy, but of the whole Europe.
When you hear the flute in Rhapsody, you know, that's a signature.
The river will lead into Urien, the mystical home of the gods. Now a mess of ruins because the last war. See the falls of Gloria, the great mountains are near. Dark shadows falling, daylight and is here. And all the creatures of darkness, they walk us in the night. In the night when there is danger, there's evil there to fight.
With this album, I think they really try to invent a kind of new scene, new genre, what we consider to be called film score metal.
We like to write visual music, you know. We try to give to the listeners pictures, you know. The story is very detailed with many characters, it's involving.
It's everything but the movie. I mean, if you sit down and listen to this, you're hearing music, you're hearing actors, you're hearing dialogue, you're hearing singing. I mean, it's really theater and movies combined without the visual element.
Rhapsody music is inspired by film scores, by movies, fantasy movies like Lord of the Rings or Braveheart, Conan, these kind of things, fantasy things.
Film score metal for Rhapsody represent the way we compose the music. We compose the songs and the orchestra parts at the same time. We don't compose the song and then we put the orchestra in the back. This is not film score metal. This is something cool, but this is not what we do.
I think Rhapsody created this film score metal. Now we see that there are a lot of bands promoting their albums with this title, under this definition. So this means that Rhapsody is still inspiring a lot of bands.
The idea to make an album with the orchestra was always a big issue for us, you know. So finally we could do it, and the writing basically is the same kind of writing. It's just that with the real instruments, you know, the sound comes alive, you know. It's a totally different level of music, you know.
You know, it's really a challenge to write from an orchestra, and for me it was also a very important thing and funny sometimes thing, you know, because I really enjoy to do it, you know. And I always did orchestral arrangements, but it's in a different way, knowing that only samples will play in the end of the album, but knowing that a big orchestra will play, of course, I had to arrange mainly for each instrument of the orchestra. And I work with Peter, and he is the conductor and the final arranger.
I think that the music is very, very exciting. They have very specific ideas. Everything is very emotional.
The final process was to be in Zlinj, in Czech Republic, and to sit in the theater and to see the orchestra playing Rhapsody music.
I was near to cry the first moment that they start to play, you know. It was fantastic.
These Czech people really play from the heart and soul. They're great musicians.
These musicians were really looking forward to have this job, you know. They are not used to play kind of soundtrack style, you know, so for them was a big challenge, you know.
The choir master was handpicked, the choir were handpicked, the musicians in the orchestra were handpicked, the orchestrator, the arranger, the engineers that we brought in were specialists. 2 guys were specialists in recording classical music.
The theater, actually, we were working in Zlin, recording the orchestra and the choir, did not have facilities to record the music, so we had to bring our own mobile studio, and we use a very professional company called B&R from Cologne, and they actually have, my God, they have unbelievable equipment, and actually we did the record in 5.1 too.
In the Czech Republic, it's one of the few places in the world I think we could make a phone call through our sponsor there and have the whole block have traffic stopped by the police. For a whole week, people couldn't drive on this particular street because there was too much ambient noise.
After the Emerson saga, look at me, thought it was necessary to have a new narrator.
We had already narrators, you know, on the albums, but this is a new beginning, you know, so we were thinking about who could be the one, you know.
Well, I love music. I love to listen to how people interpret music. It appealed to me, partly because of what I thought I would be saying. Definitely fantasy, which I love. It's mythological. It's part of legend. It's all together there.
I think he was genuinely interested on an artistic level. I mean, you can see that the guy has nothing to prove creatively. So now it's time for him in his career to do things that he thinks are interesting.
I think one should really do everything in one's career as long as it lasts, with the possible exception of adult movies.
Mr. Lee, we're ready when you are. We'll just go from the top, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm. It was a good time for all creatures of the earth. But fate decreed that the dark prophecy of a demon knight could bring a tragic end to this peace, scarring their lives forever.
For Alex to hear from the keyboards, to hear the sound of an orchestra was incredible. For me it was the same, no? For example, listening to Mr. Lee narrating the lyrics that I wrote, so you can imagine this is the realization of a dream.
Mr. Lee, also, the composer feels that this couldn't ever be too dramatic if that was the concern initially, so for him, the more dramatic the better. He loves adjectives and very descriptive, vibrant, extreme, you know, dynamics and so forth.
Naira Oriel Tarna, majestic winds of the Northlands, protect our heroes from the deadly Naroth. Cover their tracks with snow. Rage on with all your fury.
I really think that his contribution is precious, and it's something really special for the band. Now we have a really particular sound with really particular voice as main narrator.
It was just fantastic to stay here 2 days and to live with him these moments.
Just good, I think, great guy, and really give you the feeling that you can be 80 years old and full of energy and wisdom, and that's great.
He likes to speak a lot and to entertain and to tell stories, and it's just amazing, you know.
Really? That was done by Errol Flynn?
Yeah, I was fighting with him in a film called The Warriors in the States. Sword like that, bare hands. One hand, but bare. And he was supposed to cut at my knee. I was parrying like that. And it was after lunch and he was very drunk. And he hit something. The sword went up into the air and went straight onto my finger.
Oh my God, what an amazing
I nearly lost it. So
wow.
That's Errol Flynn. That's permanent.
So you've got a permanent memory.
Permanent memory, yes.
In the studio, we spent a lot of time talking, and he was singing around, you know. It was very, very nice to hear that he got a deep baritonal voice, you know, and so we said, wow.
Stolto chi s'affoga per di donna, so via facendo, aspetta l'opera del tempo.
I mean, it was really, for me, a pleasant surprise to hear him just stand up. And I know in your interview, he said, I'm not about to burst into song. But he did it about 24 times while he was here, and happily so.
He could be sitting down and all of a sudden he stands up and he starts to sing opera out of the blue.
Calesca morso.
The first time you think, my God, what is going on here?
Del ditirambo spadaldo.
But then you just get used to it.
Strambo beva con me.
He has a thick, rich baritone voice that actually crosses down into the bass register. It's very, very impressive. You know, so much so to the point that, you know, they've been considering and, you know, asking him to sing a song.
Beva, beva, beva.
His incredible spirit that amazed me, no? Because he's not only a great actor, but he's also a great person. And this for me is important, no?
I think after years, you know, everyone have much more experience. We have a really rock approach, metal approach, opera approach, Celtic approach, really soft, really aggressive, so it's really various.
I believe that this new album will bring you all in the new Rhapsody dimension, in the film score metal.
All these new aspects, I think, contribute to give something more to a band like Rhapsody that is searching continuously to reach new perspective, to move forward in new directions.
The guys just have the vision to make this new saga, and I think the metal world needs that kind of, you know, approach and that kind of unique band.
We try just to give our best to give a positive message with our music, something that can be important for people.
Our life is a mission, no? So we have to live in the best way before giving the last breath.
Maybe we are creating now, in what we are all doing together. Who knows? We may be making musical history.
For us, we care just about composing music and making the most bombastic possible to spread the positive message of love and peace. Life is a big miracle, so I want to honor it with the music, working with these nice people.
The Symphony of the Enchanted Lands, Part 2, The Dark Secret.